All right. 5, 4. I learned this in Wayne's World. Then you go.
Aurora, Illinois. Sorry.
Oh, Miss Bubbles. Bubbles.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 107, the outro edition of the On the Runs podcast. We are coming to you virtual from some different locations. I am in southern Florida, Tampa Bay, sitting in my hotel room. Right outside, I'm looking out over the balcony. I have a balcony. Amelia Arena, where the Tampa Bay Lightning play, and I'm mad at them because it's over and there's no hockey game. But I have my lovely co-host, 6-star Erika. What's up? What are you doing?
I am back. I am still tired, but I'm rallying. And I mean, I just went grocery shopping, so there's not a whole lot of
I did too.
exciting stuff over my way.
You said you're tired, and you're tired because we had a guest on the podcast last year, right when we started the year. He was one of the last guests we ever had before we became a Riverside podcast. He wrote a book called Why Run When. He is the former El Presidente of NERC, and now he is the chairman of the board or something on those lines. And we brought him on the podcast. He's shaking his head. I got it wrong. Patrick Lieber, welcome back to the On the Runs podcast. How are you?
Those are glorified titles, I'm telling you. I'm doing great. I am doing wonderful. I'm like Erika. I'm still recovering. I told her in the pre-show here that, I normally get up in the 5 o'clock hour, and I got up at 6 o'clock today. So I am still recovering.
Patrick's like an extra hour of sleep for you. I would need like 4 or 5. I don't know how, just waking up when it's dark out, I had such a hard time. So I got to give you early risers a lot of credit for doing what you do to start your day early.
Yeah, that's me time. Call it me time.
That is not Erika. She is not an early riser. We have a group chat with Tara Pterodactyl, and sometimes in the morning, Tara and I are talking in the group chat. Erika will wake up at like 11 a.m. to 55 unread messages, right? And it's like, hey, you slept in. Like, we're up early. Tara's doing her run at 4 in the morning. I'm up about 6, 7 in the morning with the boys. So, yeah, she is not an early riser.
Owl.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
Did you ever miss a race start, Erika? Did you ever?
No, I've never missed it, but I always dream about it. That's always a nightmare of mine that I will sleep through a race. Actually, I've had that nightmare just this past weekend during before the marathon. Yeah, and it always freaks me out, so I never get a good night's sleep.
Do you set 5 alarms?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, in I'll put my phone away from my bed. I'll put it at the desk or something, and I'll set 5 alarms. But that forces me to get out of bed to turn it off.
No, I get excited, so once I hear it, I'm like up. So
okay, all right.
But all of the extra alarms are a little bit redundant.
Yeah. What about you, Patrick? Do you set 5 alarms, or just your body the alarm? It just wakes you up.
It's in my head. It's kind of sick in a way. It's in my head. I just happen to wake up. I think I'm a light sleeper, so I'm waking up every hour around then, and it just comes to me. And I don't know. I've always been that way. Even though when I was a little kid, I used to get up and do that, watch cartoons. So,
do you have one of those watches that will track your sleep?
Yes, I do.
Does it give you any of that data?
What
Does
kind
it
of sleep
say
scores are you getting, Patrick?
It actually gives me. I think I've got it set for a minimum of 6 hours, and I'm doing pretty good with that. So I'm happy with it. I feel healthy with it.
Good.
Well, good. Man, I mean, you should be. You're the chairman of the board.
No. Ixnay.
My watch, I started wearing the Garmin to bed, so it gives me a better score, I guess, than my Fitbit would do. And this whole weekend, I don't think I cracked 40, a 40 number. It's like poor sleep.
What is I'm guessing 100's the best. So you're getting what would that be on the letter scale? And we'll get to grades later,
F.
but Okay, so there's no G or X or
Yeah, right.
Y.
Right.
It could be Y. Like, why are you getting a 40?
Why am I waking up so early? Yes.
True.
Well, Patrick, you're in Ohio. Erica, you're at home in your spare bedroom studio. I am in my hotel room. I just flew to Tampa.
Dude, this makes it makes a triangle. And if I recall correctly, you did a very interesting run the other day.
The triangle
Why don't
run?
you tell everybody about it? The Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, my secret's out. Strava said it. I forgot to hide the post, keep it private. But yeah, I have superpowers, and I ran across the ocean and back a couple days ago. So run coaching has gone great. Nicole is the best run coach in the world. Of course, I am running on water. It was a great
Bowing
trip to
down
Spain.
to the king.
Yeah, it was a nice trip to Spain. I didn't really stay to say hi. I just touched land and came back. So it was crazy. But no, seriously, I don't know what happened. My watch wasn't finding the GPS when I started. So I ran half a mile and I stopped because I'm like, I want to track this and I want to get the data. Yeah. And so then I stopped. I reset it. It said, found GPS, you're good. And then when I started running, the number 6,738 was stuck on my watch. And it never changed. And I just said, whatever, because after like 9 minutes, it clicked. And that was like a 9-minute mile, or it beeped. And then I ran up McIntyre, the backside of McIntyre. There's a road up the back because there's like towers and stuff up there, fire tower maybe, and whatever. And I did intervals up 4 times, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I took my photo at the top, sitting in the chairlift. I ran home, and when I hit stop, my watch, I thought like, oh, it might just say, all right, 5 miles. Nope. It said 6,000. I ran across the ocean back. And like instantly my sister's commenting on Instagram, like, wow, trip to Spain, ran across the ocean. Like, how about this? So yeah, I'm going to be in the next, I don't know. They might fire me, but I'm going to be in the next Marvel movie because I'm the man that walks on water. So
you got to keep it secret. Yeah, they're going to.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you my superhero name yet.
Release it.
Well deserved.
Yeah, so Peter Quill, watch out because I'm coming for your girl Gamora. So
you would pick her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of fun. So I'm in Tampa. This was not planned. Last time I was on the pod, I said I was going to Virginia and then Pennsylvania. Well, they added Tampa to it. And then I said, well, if I'm going to Tampa, I'm not traveling 3 weeks in a row. So I'm not going to go to Virginia next week. But look at my view, the view from my hotel room. I wonder if you can see it. I have a balcony. All right, the lighting's definitely terrible. Oh, maybe I can make it better. For those of you watching on YouTube, that is Amelia Arena, home of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I went to a Boston Bruins game there in 2010, the year we won the Stanley Cup. It was November. The Bruins lost. It was the only time I was okay with a loss because my roommate is a diehard Lightning fan, and he was happy. He was his first ever Tampa game. And right over there is a parking garage. And I left my mark on the top floor of that parking garage after leaving Wet Willie's, which was right over there. And so I heard Wet Willie's is no longer there, but Wet Willie's makes like slushy drinks that are alcoholic, of course. And I had a drink a couple times, more than a couple. It was called a Call the Cab.
Didn't we talk about this with, was it Ryan or Jay? I know Jay likes Tampa, right?
Yes,
but she likes the
She
Bucks.
does.
It was totally Jay.
Okay.
And I just sent her a picture, actually, from my balcony saying, do you recognize the arena? I wonder if she responded. So they used to live in the area. Tampa's nice. It's I guess my 3rd time here. So I'm in a beautiful hotel. I think I'm in like a VP's room because he left. And when they asked me to come down, they just said, we'll give you the key in the lobby. And I'm like, make sure I get my hotel points. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just get the card. I'm like, good, I want my points. But I'm in a nice room because I have a balcony and not every room here does, but I bet majority do. I'm in a good room.
You're living large.
Yeah.
Way to go.
No toaster
Nice.
or microwave, though. I usually have those.
Meh. You'll live. How long are you there for?
I come back on Friday. So we're recording. It is Wednesday night. I'll be back home Friday before the kids go to bed. I'll get home I land in Boston around 7. I regretted going to Boston on my drive this morning. I know I talked about Manchester.
After talking so highly of
You
Manchester.
do.
Yep.
Well, I've kind of like fallen in love with Delta, and Delta has a lot more direct flight options from Boston. They have none in Manchester. They used to fly out of there. but traffic was awful today going to Logan, and I was like, I wish I flew to Manchester and just stuck with not a delay, but a layover, which is fine. But it was actually the timing of the flights didn't work out, where Boston worked out perfect, where I leave around 11. I can bring Adeline to school, go straight to the airport, and then I get back around 7, and I'm home by probably 8:15, 8:30. Kids are still up on a Friday night, so it works out great. Mom, thank you so much for watching the kids every night this week for me, because I tried to get
shout out Janice.
Yeah, yes. I tried to get nieces and stuff. My work sends me these places last minute, and they're finally figuring it out.
It's hard to plan for it.
Well, yeah, and like I know in 2 weeks for Pennsylvania, I'm going to Pennsylvania, but we still don't know what day we're traveling.
Oh.
So that's how it is. It's like, and this Pennsylvania trip, it's the third time they've rescheduled. So won't be surprised if it gets rescheduled. Mm-hmm. But enough about me. This isn't the Eric podcast. This is the On the Runs podcast. And we brought on Patrick Lieber, the commissioner of the board.
Shirt. Way to go.
We have 6-star Erika to talk to us about the Flying Pig Marathon Weekend Festival. Oh, let me tell you, I said I didn't have much FOMO on the Patreon special we put out yesterday, but I have a feeling the FOMO is going to hit me when the two of you tell me about your weekend. So why don't you tell me, Erika, were you, let's go. Spare no details. Start from the beginning. Your alarm goes off at what time when you leave the house?
All right. Friday morning last week. I've been so excited for this trip. I, of course, couldn't sleep, but I had to get up at, I think, 4:15 in the morning to make like a 6 a.m. flight out of Manchester. So
which
that
is
was
the
really
best,
nice and easy.
Right? You could have probably woke up at 5 and made your 6 a.m.
Could
flight.
have, but oh my God, I am the worst when it comes to traveling. I get the traveling anxiety where I'm like, I have to be at the local airport that's 15 minutes from my house, at least 2 hours early, and I just sit there. But at least I'm like, okay, I'm here now. So I wasn't there quite as early, but I had my peace of mind. It was a very not full flight, so I had a seat next to me open. I had an aisle seat. It was nice and spacious. Took a flight to Chicago. We got there, and I was nervous about this flight. I had maybe 20 minutes between I got off the plane and got on another plane. So I had enough time to just use the bathroom, and I was on another flight. So went from Chicago to Cincinnati.
That's kind of close.
It was, and I was nervous about it, but it was either get in at 11:30 in the morning or 4:30 in the afternoon. So I made the choice to take the chance because I knew I could at least take a plane later.
That's the only tough thing about Manchester is it's early flights or it's get there late flights. There's no middle like today. I left at 11:50 and I was in my hotel by 3:30. There's none of those from Manchester. Besides that, it is the greatest airport in the world. Love you, MHT.
But
let's get Delta back.
Everything went super smooth, and I actually met a few ladies who were running the races over the weekend on the plane to Cincinnati. So I got a shout out this girl Nikki. She just got her 6-star, and she's
6-star
super fast
Nikki.
And awesome. 6-star Nikki,
Get
and
the
then Mary, who we had encountered a few times during the race this weekend, and I had also met her at Clarence DeMar last year. We had taken a marathon picture, so I was like, I totally remember you. She has like beautiful long hair; it's always braided, and I was like, I remember you. You were wearing pink, like that's how much I remember you. Exactly what you were wearing. So we landed, everything smooth, and who picks me up from the airport but wonderful Patrick himself. I totally was going to Uber to wherever, but he's like, nope, I'm going to come get you. So
because that's what Patrick, the chairman of the board does. They're the chairman of the board. They're going to let you, like, they want you to feel welcome and to feel special. NERC does not spare any expenses to make you feel important.
The hospitality this weekend was off the charts. So I owe so much of this amazing weekend to Patrick here. So Patrick, how was your drive down from your area? I know you said it was quite a few hours.
Oh yeah, it's a 4-hour drive, and it worked out perfect. I mean, I timed it such that I think I got to the cell phone lot probably 10 minutes before you told me you had your baggage. So it was almost perfect, and so no, it was an easy drive, no complications. I actually stopped and saw my son, had a cup of coffee, real brief, and then I had to unload my car. We joked, Erika, about how much you packed for a trip. I had to unload some stuff just to get your luggage in. So trust me, I brought a lot of stuff. So that I had to do that before. I had to see him and have coffee because I had to transfer stuff to his car. So
smart.
I guarantee you can't compete with the amount of luggage that I carry. So
Well, that's easy to do when you're not flying. Like you can just, oh, you know what? I might need this. I'll throw it in the car. I might need that. I'll throw it in the car. When you're flying, you kind of got to think, am I going to check a bag? If the answer is yes, you can throw in a few extra things. If the answer is no, you kind of got to pack light and just take the essentials.
Yep.
Let me ask you this.
I had to pack a bag. There was no way I could pack light for this.
Let me ask you this, Patrick, real quick. Are you a window or an aisle guy?
Oh, I am an aisle guy.
Yeah. I think I made the mistake on my flight today. I took the window. I don't typically do that. Yeah. I got to remind myself to just stick with the
window
aisle.
Seat.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't take the window seat for my flight, because it was Southwest, so you choose your own seats, and I just wanted to be as far front as I could to run off that plane if I had to.
Yeah.
And I was in the second row.
Oh,
because of the 20-minute layover.
Yeah, so that was my aisle seat from Manchester to Chicago, but all of my other flights I had a nice window seat. It was great.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. So Patrick picks you up. Where does he take you? Where were you? Did you stay at I have no clue. Like, did you stay at a hotel, Airbnb? Did you stay at Patrick's son's house? Patrick, where did you stay? Were you two roommates? I have no clue.
Nope.
So I owe the planning of this weekend to our hype man Dave's wonderful wife Tara. She planned out basically everything. Like they road tripped their way from Massachusetts to Ohio. Actually, technically Kentucky. So they road tripped there and they booked a hotel and the three of us split it. So we were staying in Kentucky, which is literally right across the border. There's we took a walking bridge between Ohio and Kentucky this whole weekend. But Patrick was awesome enough to pick me up, and we were going to go to the expo first, but then we heard we're driving, we see the city, it's looking pretty. And then Dave's like, hey, we were able to check in early. And we're like, oh, let's pivot. Let's go back and just go to our hotel instead, drop stuff off. So we took a little joyride, I guess you could say.
We went from Kentucky to Ohio to Kentucky.
Yep, just trying to figure out how to get there. And so, yeah, we were staying in Kentucky. It was kind of fun.
And then I stayed with my son who lives in Cincinnati. So he lives 4 miles from downtown. I just couldn't imagine living that close to professional sports stadiums. And he does. He lives 4 miles just north of Cincinnati. So it's a lot easier for me to do these types of road trips when you have someplace like that to crash.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot cheaper too. So, no, I was set. And like I said, I dropped some luggage off real quick, and then I was going to help take care of them for the rest of the day. So
that you did.
That was fun.
Well, just remember when we traveled to Menor, Ohio for whatever we're doing out there, we're parking the camper in your driveway.
Yep.
And we're going to the pool party at Angela's house.
Yeah, the camper is welcome. I've already told you that. We've got to coordinate it with Angela, though. So, yeah, you're welcome here, and we'll have a nice campfire in the back here and drink a few adult beverages. I'm counting on it.
All right.
Sounds like an amazing weekend. I'm already planning my next trip.
Oh, don't give me more FOMO. All right, so this is Friday. You flew there Friday. Was there any running events, any flying pig things going on? The expo, was the 1 miler on Friday? Tell me about what else happened.
Yup. We after we dropped our stuff off at the hotel, we got back in the Pearl Jam mobile, and Patrick drove us into Cincinnati, and we went to the expo.
Does he have like a tape cassette and it just plays Pearl Jam on repeat all the time?
I think I turned the radio on mute. I wanted to hear the conversation. So, yeah, no, my license plate advertises it, but it's not always on inside the car. And the expo. So the expo, Erika, that was, it was funny. I joked with them. We walked in and I said, wow, how could everybody be off of work? It was very crowded. I mean, it was elbow to elbow crowded in that beginning, right? In that first hour that we were there. So
yeah, it was like just after it opened, we had showed up. So it was like yeah, the first time people could really get in there, and it was absolutely swamped. It took us a while to get. So we had to go to one area to get your bibs. You had to go all the way across the expo to get your t-shirts and whatever like perks you got. So I got like a poster and a nice like duffel bag, and just they take care of you over there with your races. But and then the expo is huge. There's so many vendors, and one of the presenting sponsors for the race series was Procter and Gamble. So we stood in line for like at least a solid half an hour, but we got so many free samples. Like we got full size like deodorants and full size like vitamins and just everything. We're like throwing them in trick or treating, like trick or treat, give me whatever you got. I don't even care. Like laundry detergent. Oh yeah,
There we are.
that's me and Patrick and one of the flying piggies.
And then I remember, Erika, I left you and Dave and Tara, and I said, is this going to be worth standing in line? So I went up to the line to see what everybody was collecting. And the first person I see is some dude with his shirt. And it looked like he went trick-or-treating. I mean, he didn't even have a bag. He had it all in his shirt, rolled up like this. And when I asked him, what does he have? And he showed me like this. He opened his shirt up.
Yep.
So then I came back. I said, it looks like it's worth standing in this line.
It was. We got like a nice amount of money's worth of things.
Oh, yeah. It was nice.
But also, I have to mention at the expo, I got to meet somebody that Patrick knows and has suggested we get on the podcast eventually. He is the race director for the Columbus Marathon.
Wait, let me guess. Was he big, blue, and fluffy?
I know who you're going to show. Okay, I had to take this picture just because I was like, that's the toilet paper bear. Hell yeah. But I was super happy to meet him.
Their marketing campaign is enjoy the go. So Erika was enjoying the go.
It was funny. He was standing like across and I just kind of like pointed and I was like, come here. So he like came over to me and I was like, yeah, let's get a picture.
I thought it was on brand for you guys.
Yeah. And the timing, let me tell you, I ran up this hill yesterday training for Mount Washington and I tried to get Erika, Tara, and Lindsay to go with me. I also tried to get Scott to go with me. And everyone who said no, I just said, you're soft like Charmin. And then she goes, oh, speaking of that, she sends me the photo. And I'm like, oh, my God, what are the odds there? She goes, I met Mr. Charmin. Yeah. But no, on a serious note, who did you meet that should come on the podcast?
So he was the race director for the Columbus Marathon that is near and dear to Patrick's heart.
Right.
That is the nationwide one.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. No way. So you met the guy. What's his name?
Yep. So we got to meet, his name is Darius, and we actually met his wife Star too. And besides their whole Columbus Marathon directing, they are both ultra runners. Like, just off the top of my head, I know that Star has run Badwater before, and
no way.
she was already like thinking of the stories, like, so she's going to be ready when we get her. So we're going to have them on definitely before the Columbus Marathon, just because we want to send people there. Go run this race. It's
When's the Columbus Marathon?
October 20th this year.
All right, Patrick, you make the connection. You put me in contact. I will get him this year. We'll do it this summertime with plenty of time. And then we'll get Star. Maybe we get them both on. You brought up the name Star. My friend Brian, God bless his soul, he passed away. His last name was Rock, and they got a dog, and they named the dog Star because you know how the last name goes first on a lot of things. It will be like, so it's Rock Star.
And Rock Star.
Nice. That's sweet.
I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was way too young, but I still work with his wife, and she's amazing. And it was like 5 years ago. It was liver disease.
Ooh.
Couldn't get a new liver. 44 years old.
Unfortunate.
Oh.
Yeah.
Too damn young.
Sorry to bring this down. Talking about rock stars, and I got to bring us down.
We can bring it back up again. I mean,
Darius and Star, when you're listening to this, shoot me a message. I want you on the pod. Absolutely. Especially, I want to hear those Badwater stories. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was funny. They started telling Erika a Code Brown story, and then she was like, no, I don't want to hear it. And then they said, okay, the only thing we'll tell you is that we have a Code Brown story, and the word they used was disturbing.
That's
That's
the
the
word.
word.
We were trying to think. I'm like, disgusting.
Yeah.
Like we knew it to start. Well, you knew it started with a D.
Yeah. Disturbing in LA. Something happened in LA that they were just
You know it's gonna be good.
tongue-tied about. So they want to tell that story. And this was kind of cute too. I don't know if you saw this happen, Erica, or not, but Darius joked about Columbus Marathon t-shirts. Okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I know Darius very well. He's a friend of mine. And he brought mugs that day, and anybody who was going to walk up wearing a Columbus Marathon shirt at the Cincinnati Flying Pig Expo was going to get a mug. And he told Star that morning, well, I know I'm giving one of these away, and it's to Patrick. He was convinced I was going to wear a Columbus Marathon shirt.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing my own brand. I was a walking billboard saying whyrunwhen.com. And so
I can't fault you for that.
Wait, you have a Why Run When t-shirt?
Oh, sure. I've got
I need
3
one.
of them, I think. You want one?
I want
Okay.
one. I'm an XL.
All right,
Maybe
all right.
I could fit into
I'll
a
set
large.
you up. I'll
Yeah.
set you up. Okay, we'll talk about that offline. So, so I didn't get the mug. He pulled the mug back, and that's okay. But he gave us a pad of paper as a consolation prize, right?
All
Got it
right.
on my fridge.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So-
This is cool. I would love to talk to, I would love to ask
You're
a lot
gonna
of
love
questions
them.
about a
Yeah.
major marathon from
Yes.
the race director. That would be so
They're
cool.
both good storytellers, Eric. They're
Yeah.
very good storytellers. You would enjoy them. You really would.
I was going to say, we've never
So-
had a race director who's put on a race that big, and then I forgot about Dave McGilvery.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
Sorry. I was like, oh, I kind of did too.
Maybe you should edit
Yeah,
that.
this is big time. This is big time.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sure he's great.
Hello.
You know what? I think when we talked to Dave, we didn't really talk much about managing and directing the race. We talked about his stories. Maybe we can get a little more
That's
detail about directing a
Yes.
major race.
I feel like Boston doesn't need the promo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely not.
Yep.
Well, tell me what it would cost to get our logo on the back of your Columbus race day shirt, Darius, and we'll figure that out. I would love to do
Yeah.
that. We're going to be on the Goffstown Gallop the t-shirt. That's going to be super awesome.
Good.
We are.
Congrats.
We're
That's
we're
awesome.
expanding. We'll get to that later, another podcast. More about the Flying Pig. Okay, so you had a great time at the expo. You met Darius and Star. You met the 2 ladies at the airport, Mary and Nikki. We're going to call Nikki 6-star Nikki going forward. Nikki, get it on your license plate. Then you saw Dave. You stayed with them. All right, let's get the good stuff about the hotel room. Does Dave snore?
A little bit, I think, but I started sleeping with earplugs in, so I really didn't notice. That first night, though, I was conked out, so it could have had a bomb go off in there. I wouldn't have noticed. So, but you're skipping so much of your day,
all right.
man.
You know what? Don't let me
Yeah.
run this show. Just tell me the story. I want to hear it.
I was like, please ask me some questions, so it's not just me talking. This
Well, you know, it would be great if I had some questions to read you, but off the top of my head, let's see, just looking at some notes.
Shut up.
Where were we? You had to buy a headband.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's around here. Hold on.
Erica is looking. Oh, look at that. Nice.
Okay. So I found this. They had an adorable little stand that had pig everything, like pig leggings, like pig t-shirts, pig tutus, all kinds. Like it even had like a curly Q on it, I'm pretty sure. And then I saw this little like pig-eared headband, and I was like, when in Cincinnati, you buy the pig stuff. So I had to pick this up. I thought it was cute. I'm keeping this on for the whole episode.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah. I think this is the only thing I actually purchased, but I know that Tara got like sweaty band headband, and it had like little pigs on it because the pig guy, I don't know if you can really see, he's got like sunglasses on,
Mhm.
and so they had that on like the headband, and they really they lean into this pig thing so much that I am obsessed. We'll talk a little more about it too.
Okay, are we going to
so fun.
ask why? Like, what's the obsession with pigs out in Cincinnati?
I think Patrick might be better suited to
Yeah.
answer that question, but I just love that they do.
That's funny. I didn't ask you that question on Sunday, right? As part of trivia.
Glad that you did it.
Is that the
long,
farm
long-
where Wilbur's from in Charlotte's Web? Is that based out of Cincinnati? Must be. That must be it.
I don't know. But I did learn that back in the day, because of the Ohio River there that separates Ohio and Kentucky, there was a lot of pork business there. So Cincinnati was actually known as Porkopolis. It had a nickname also of Porkopolis. So it just goes back in the day when pigs were processed down there along the river. So that's kind of the boring history, but it's the truthful history.
Is
and
it
Erika,
still a
don't you
thing?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's gone to more rural areas rather than right there in the city because the
Where you
city's
can
developed.
get your organic pigs.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, grass-fed, organic.
But Erika, don't you have another point of a costume that you could show everyone that I gave you?
Yes, give me a second. It's over here.
All right. Erika is making moves. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that she disappeared from the screen, and you can finally see Patrick. I've been telling her this. She needs to adjust her camera so her head is where the light switch is, because no one can ever see the Chicago poster.
Chicago. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she does.
And so if she can get her head there, I'm like, you can see it. And we can add things. So, there she is. But right back to it, Patrick. Notice you can't see Chicago anymore. It's gone. You just see a light switch.
Oh, no. It is. I'm flattening out the poster, but
well, I wouldn't wear that the whole time, but you had to add that to your costume.
I did. Oh my God. We had so much fun with this. Hang on.
So if you want me to ask questions, I think we're still on Friday. And Friday was the 1 miler, but did you get food before the 1 miler? And she wasn't listening to my question. She had the earbuds out of her ears.
I heard 1 miler.
Well, I was saying on Friday, you ran the 1 miler, but before that, didn't you get food?
We got some food. We found delicious burgers.
We were starving.
We were starving. Yeah. I don't think Tara ate that day at all. I had, I think, maybe 2 Cliff Bars, and we were running on empty already, which is not a good start to a weekend full of running. So we had some really yummy burgers.
All right.
It was probably 2 p.m. We hadn't eaten lunch, and it was 1:30, 2 o'clock. So we were all getting hangry.
How would you rate this hamburger compared to the one I had in New York City at the train station?
Much less expensive, but probably equally as delicious. I had a smash burger, and I've been really into those lately. So it had like some good cheese, caramelized onion, and like a special, some kind of sauce on it. It wasn't ranch, but like I don't know what kind of sauce. I forget what it was called, but it was just melt in your mouth, delicious.
And perfect to eat right before you run a mile.
Right? It's just a mile. Whatever.
Go to the fries.
This whole weekend was a gamble. I was gonna play with the eat whatever the hell I wanted, and whatever happened. So
what was the weather, by the way? Wasn't it super hot, or was it just humid and sticky, or what? Because last year it downpoured, right? So this was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
You can take this one, Patrick.
Yeah. I would label it as it was thick. The humidity was just it was so thick. It was hard to. You could feel it when you were walking. You were working up a sweat just walking, and that's very common in Cincinnati. It really is. It's very humid down there. So it wasn't so much the heat. It probably didn't get above 73 to 75 Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Oh, Sunday did.
Did it? Yeah. Oh, you're right. It got up to 77 or 78.
Sunday was hot.
Yeah. But it was just thick. And it was cloudy, but it was comfortable. It was those types of days where you like to be outside, just in a T-shirt, but the sun wasn't baking you on Friday for the most part. It would come and go. Yeah. But by the evening, it wend away and
it was girthy.
Led us to the. It's girthy. Okay.
Sure.
We'll let you label it that way then.
You're funny.
What was the Beeman score?
Oh, didn't we look it up?
I thought you told me. You were going to tell me during our Patreon only.
or something?
That's high.
Yeah,
it's a high.
Yeah, I think you posted it.
That's temperature, humidity, and dew point.
You know what? That might have been the start of the 10K.
Oh, you're right. It was. That's when you posted
which
it.
is still very high at 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
that was
1
bad.
miler. So the 1 miler was Friday night, and then you had 2 races Saturday and the marathon Sunday. So let's start with the 1 miler. You're running on hamburger fuel. How'd that go? Was that just like a fun little 1 mile jog, or were you like going all out, throwing elbows, blocking people to win the race?
Well, I can tell you I wasn't blocking anybody and I wasn't throwing bows, but Patrick took off. He was having a good day.
I'm so naive. I'm telling you. I'm just so naive. I've never run in one of these. So I get there and, you know, if you run a 1 mile race in Mentor, Ohio or around here, you'll get maybe 100, 150 people. Okay. And I said something to Erika, I think to you or to Dave that like, this is crazy. There's a couple thousand people here. And it just kept building and building and building. And end result was there was 3,000 plus in this race, this 1 mile race.
Wow.
And again, I thought like at the expo, where are all these people coming from? Well, then I realized we all get 2 beer tickets at the end of this thing. So
worth it. It was worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah, it really was. So then my mind started going like, well, how are they going to service, you know, all these adults with 2 beer tickets, which we'll get into because they did a pretty good job. But we got up there, and the reason I'm saying I'm so naive is that they released the 1 mile people in waves. I really thought it was just going to be a gun start go. Each of our chips will start our time once we get to the starting line. But no, Erika, we were in the 4th or 5th heat, and all you did was you moved up. And what happened is I was telling her, I'm just going to, you know, have a party run with you guys, a party pace with you guys, and you'll set the pace. Then all of a sudden we get up there and they cut us off pretty close to the front. And all of a sudden my strategy changed. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. We're right at the start here. So I can go. And Dave kind of took the first few fast steps. And I thought, oh, he's going too. So I just went. So
that was pretty much the plan. Like we were trying to go, but then you would get some people who were still moving kind of slow in front of you. So that like slowed me down because I just couldn't make the moves.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say I ran an 8:20, which isn't that bad, but like it took a while to find some space and you're just trying to go. But we were like, Patrick's gone. Yep. Like every once in a while I would catch a glimpse of your blue jacket.
My blue jacket. Yeah.
We're like, nope, he's gone by.
I forgot to stop my watch, and so they gave me a 7:35 though officially. But
there you go.
So that's moving, but I could go faster, but I felt bad, Erika. I actually was in the front, and I'm going, why did I just do that? I said I was going to run with them, and then I went off.
Because you're the freaking chairman of the board, Patrick. You gotta lead by example. You're a leader.
This was just a 1 mile race. Like I still like Dave and I were trying to cook at the end of this thing. So we were trying to like weave around like the people walking from the wave ahead of us. And like we were trying to get you, but we just couldn't.
Yeah, I was a target with that blue jacket I had showing. So
gotcha.
But that was fun. And then we stood in line for the beer, and my son came down and met us. He joined us, and we got our beers. That line, I think, moved quicker than the P&G line at the expo. Don't you think?
Did.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Or we were having more fun just laughing at that point. But and so it's kind of funny when you get a couple beers in you without much food and you're a little dehydrated. So everybody was in a good mood.
We were having it. Plus, somebody gave me 2 extra beer tickets. So I went and I collected mine. I had 2 cans of beers in each hand. Not open. They weren't open, but I was carrying them over to where we were going to sit. So
I think something we have to do is we have to tell everyone like what was going on. What was the running festival that weekend? We know it's the Flying Pig Marathon weekend, but there was a 1 mile race on Friday. You had a couple races on Saturday, and you had a big one on Sunday. Why don't you tell everyone, like you went there for the whole festival, and it's like something with cheese, so it's death for me.
Yes.
But why don't you fill everyone in with the details of the weekend?
Death for you. So as far as I know, they you could choose any of those races to do throughout the weekend. And if you wanted a challenge, you could either do, they had, I think, technically 4 different challenges. You could do a 3-way, a 4-way, or a 3-way with extra cheese, and a 4-way with extra cheese. So the race on Friday night was your extra cheese. And then if you wanted to do just the 10K and the 5K, that fell on Saturday, plus either a half marathon or the full marathon on Sunday, that would constitute your 3-way or 4-way. So because I did the marathon plus the other 2 races, that was the 4-way, and Dave did the 3-way, so he did the half. So yeah, they cater to everyone. Like you could just choose to do the 5K if you wanted to. Like they just wanted to bring everybody together and have a blast, and a blast it was.
And Patrick, you told us about the Flying Pig Marathon when you were on the podcast back in January of 2023.
Okay.
But this is your first time running in the events, right?
You know, it's funny. Being a runner for over 40 years now, I always wished I lived on a marathon course, right? And you could set up a tent out there and just have a party, right? Well, I'm living that dream through my son. My son's apartment is actually on the marathon course, on the Flying Pig Marathon course at about 9.8 or 9.9 miles. And he lives within a rock's throw of the actual runners coming by. So I go down there every year just to cheer. I just love it, you know, and Kathy and I go down and we visit Jake. We do a lot of fun stuff over the weekend. And then it all builds up to Sunday morning when the marathoners start coming by. So I've never participated in any of the events. I don't know if I told you that, Erika, or not. I've never.
I don't think so.
Yeah, in 5 years, I've never done it.
Popped his cherry, Erika.
I'm glad I could be a part of it because this is my first experience with it too. So I'm glad we could kind of share it together.
Yeah, it was great, and it made so much. It had such an effect on me that I already signed up for next year too, and I signed up for the 1 mile fun run, the 10K, and the 5K, which we'll get to. I didn't run it this year, the 5K, but I'm going to do those.
That should be a 2-way with extra cheese.
Yeah,
why don't you just do that?
Yeah. Well, that's, I guess, what it is. It's a 2-way with extra cheese in some respects.
These are cracking me up. They're like, every time I move, they're all right, I'm going to take them off. They're distracting me, but they're cute. See, they're super cute. Anyways.
So we're still on Friday night and still having a good time, Eric. So we're sitting there, and I think what's about to happen next, Erika, was one of the best surprises of the weekend.
Yes.
I don't know if you agree or not, but so the Reds had a home game.
The medal.
Oh yeah, the medal's sweet.
Oh,
it's actually a can opener.
No.
The bottle opener, yeah.
Yeah. It's a can opener.
Yes.
Or bottle opener.
I was definitely digging the surprise that we got, right? So we, of course, had the couple of beers and we were just kind of talking, and then all of a sudden, what do we hear?
Boom, 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 boom. So fireworks start going off. Now, here's the punchline, or here's the end of the story. The Reds had a home game, okay? But this little drizzle of rain actually delayed the start of the Reds game. Mm-hmm. And it delayed it so long that by around, what was it, 8:30, 8:45 p.m., they decided to shoot off the evening fireworks because it was a fireworks night, and then they were going to play the game. So they were doing that for the families and the kids that were in the crowd, and they fired off the fire. I've never seen them do that in Cleveland before. They've often canceled the fireworks, but they shot off the fireworks, and all of a sudden,
not
Erika
a real sports town, I guess.
Yeah, right. Erika and Tara are over there admiring the fireworks, and we're thinking maybe there was a home run or something, but it kept going and going and going. So it was kind of cool. At the end of our 1 mile run, we watched a 20 to 30-minute display of fireworks. It was like the 4th of July, so it was pretty cool. Yeah.
It was really cool. I was digging it. I love fireworks. They're magical. I felt like a little kid.
We just didn't see it coming. That's the coolest thing about it was not even part of the schedule. And it
Patrick,
just happened
if I was you, I would have been like, oh, by the way, this is for you guys. I did this. I did this.
All of a sudden you would see you know how sometimes you could pop like shapes into it? It would be like our logo, like Stooley up there.
Stooley! Oh, that would be so cool.
You have a great Stooley story for walking to that event that night.
I do.
And then coming back. Don't forget
Are we getting a Code Brown exclusive from Erika on the pod?
No,
Oh.
It's just
well,
a
not
cute
really.
story.
Oh,
It's a cute
is this
story.
the one where
I
you made
told-
me proud?
Yes, I did.
All right.
So we were walking across the bridge from Kentucky to Ohio, going to the start of the race, and it had been raining. And we came across this, like, it already had a bunch of stickers. It was like right by a wall of locks. You know how they do that on bridges.
Yeah.
And then there was just a thing of stickers, and I was like, perfect place to put Stooley. So I all weekend long I carried around like a whole pocket full of Stooley.
You're learning
Yes.
from me. You are learning.
I'm trying.
Erica, when we were in New York
So-
City, and there it is, you can see Stooley there. I love it. Oh my God, Stooley's so perfect.
But
She
let
would be
me
like,
tell you what I
she'd be
did,
like, are we going to
though.
get in trouble putting a sticker here in New York City? I'm like, no, we're just going to do it.
See,
Slap
I didn't
it
feel
on.
bad for this because we weren't the first to do it. But so I had like tried to wipe off a spot the best I could because it was wet, and I'm like, no sticker is gonna stick to this. So I peeled the back off of the Stooley sticker and I just slapped it on there. Well, I slapped him on upside down, and I was like, well, he's still there, whatever, I don't care. So we go to the race, have the fun. We're walking back across the bridge to go home, and somebody fixed him. Somebody righted him. And
Really?
I was like, are you serious? Yes, because I'm pretty sure when you're looking at him, he's kind of like centered underneath like that circle. He was like above the circle before. So there's no way he could have like slid down and gone to the left. Like, it's just not going to happen. So somebody fixed him. And also I stuck another one up there just for good measure. But I was like, this is nice. Somebody liked Stooley enough to write him up.
Your reaction to that was point on. It was just so cool. She's like, oh my God, somebody fixed him.
I was shocked. I was like, he
There's-
was 100% upside down.
There's good people in Cincinnati, I'll tell you that. Good people out there.
And I can attest to that because everyone this weekend was amazing.
Agreed. So yeah, we walked back that night, and I don't think you shared with everybody how far that walk was. That was a pretty good walk.
So we thought it was going to be a lot closer than it actually was. It ended up being within the whole weekend, at least 1.5 mile walk each way. Sometimes it was a little bit further because we had to go like the opposite side of the Bengal Stadium. Sometimes it was like right on 1.5 miles because we were like right on the water. It was, so 3 miles walking minimum every day.
What was so nice
Which is
about
great.
the Purple People Bridge?
It was just really, really pretty. Like, you got to see some awesome views of Cincinnati while crossing this bridge. Plus, you had like the state, like they had a state line, and I was like, I'm in 2 states at once. Did I send you that picture or did I not? Because I didn't want people to look at my feet.
I know Jared did. Jared posted it. So
Well, I have it, but I'm just like, I'm wearing flip flops, and you can definitely see my feet. So that one might have to be an only feet.
It's on your Only
picture.
Feet page already. I got it there. It's already posted.
Thank you. It's my
Thank you
manager
for
over
generating
here.
that revenue with your feet pics. All right. Well, that's Friday. Let's go to Saturday. And this is not going to make me come next year. You woke up at 4 a.m. again?
Again. I think it was more like 4:30, but it's still like if there's a 4 in front of it, I'm just count me out. But yep, another super early wake up.
Now,
But
why?
we were excited.
The race was at 7. Why do you have to get up at 4?
Well, Dave and I were both the ones getting up, so we had to share a bathroom, and so it took a little while, like about 45 minutes for us to get ready. Then it was a solid like half an hour walk.
Dave
and we
doing
wanted
his
to make sure we
makeup?
could. No, like we had to poop, man. Like that's, you know how race mornings go. So we had to make sure we could poop, and then we had to make sure we got to the porta potty so we could poop again. Get in line. We wanted to meet up with Patrick. We didn't want him waiting too long by himself. Although you did make a friend waiting in line or waiting at the corrals. You were talking to a nice girl.
the lady. Oh, what happened?
All I remember is she had something Hamza on her bib because you could personalize it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I didn't think to personalize mine, or something went wrong and I didn't put it on there.
Yeah, she was. She lives in Michigan. They just moved to Cincinnati, and she's a runner, and so she just signed up. She didn't know what to expect, so I walked up with her, and we chatted, and then I asked her last name, and it reminded me of Erika. I said, "Oh, you got to meet Erika," because her name's
It was
Hamill.
pretty
So
perfect. Well, it's pretty perfect.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I forgot about her. I feel bad, but yeah. So we met a friend, and that was nice. So,
Yep.
So
that was the only reason we got up so early, was just to give ourselves time for the morning poop.
I think
Erika, I got up at 4. I'm the same way.
He was up earlier.
See, I got up at 4, Eric.
I think you also met another friend, not a friend of the pod, but someone from our pod fam.
Yes. Are you talking Angela? Because we met her after the 10K.
Oh, well, I'm just going off of what I see here. There's a picture of the beautiful Angela, and you're sitting on the ground. The ground looks wet and dirty, Erika. What the heck?
All right, we've got some interesting stories for you. Well, let's just say 10K went off perfectly. We did a nice modest pace. We all finished together. I'm honestly thinking about buying that picture, Patrick, with the ones we're all like in sync. All of our legs are like in the same position, and we're like crossing the finish line together.
We got a synchronized picture, synchronized running. It
was pretty cool.
Very cool. I put that on the Facebook site for the Flying Pig, and we're getting some pretty interesting feedback on it. But to download one picture, Erika, do the prices go down on these things over time?
Occasionally they'll so it's marathon photo.
Like Thanksgiving,
occasionally they will do
discounts,
a sale.
Christmas discounts, Black Friday, but you gotta wait.
That kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. We might want to wait.
They'll be there for a while.
Let's wait. Yeah. Let's save a little bit of money, because it's overpriced, in my opinion.
Isn't it unreal?
But how much for
Eric,
one photo?
It's a pretty cool picture. $39 for one digital photo.
But it's digital. And it's 3 of you.
Yeah.
So it's really only
it's cool.
It's $13 each.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't look at it that way.
On it.
Come on, guys.
I'll try to put it on the camera, but it is really cool. Let's see if I can.
But this photo is really cool too.
We have a start line photo like that.
And does Dave need a new shirt? Because I've noticed the OTR is kind of worn out. He wears it a lot, I think.
Yes, send him a new shirt. Send him a new one. He wore an on the run shirt for both days of racing.
He represented. I mean,
do you see the picture Patrick Scott?
See that?
Oh yes, that is an amazing photo.
Look at the synchronized dance move we're doing.
Guys, $13. I mean, give Marathon Photos some credit here. $13 each.
They did a great job. There are so many photos from the whole weekend that is just incredible.
I mean, Patrick, you're chairman of the board. Just expense it.
Glorified title.
So, getting back to it, 10K was perfect. It was just a little humid, like not even warm. I mean, it was comfortable. And then it was cloudy. So after we finished, so it started at 7 a.m. The 5K was supposed to start at 9 a.m. We meet up with Angela because she was going to do the marathon, but bumped down because she just did London. She crushed it, taking it easy as she should. So the 5K, we meet up with her, and we're just like, yes, this is great. We were taking some pictures. We're talking. So it's me, Dave, Tara, and Angela. We have maybe 10 minutes to go. We're waiting in the corrals, and they go, oh, just kidding, you guys. Lightning was spotted in the area. We have to postpone it for an hour. Go seek shelter, go to your cars, do whatever. So we text Patrick. We're like, there's no need to wait for us, especially if it's going to be an extra hour. Like, you didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. So we're like, just go back to Jake's, take a nap. We'll meet up for, like, we had lunch or dinner planned later that night. So I was like, just go relax. And the four of us wound up going, we were trying to find our way around. We went up to the Bengals stadium, and they actually let us inside. We weren't sure that they were going to do that, but they did. And holy shit, I'm so happy that they did, because we got some monster thunderstorms. Like, it scared the shit out of me to be frank. So the picture that Angela took, we were just kind of hunkered down in the stadium, sitting right on like the right on the concrete floors, and yeah, it was a gnarly storm.
1 hour delay turned into
3 hours.
And they got the race going. And your note here was that you ran with Angela, and you were so happy to have all that time to chat with her and get to know her better, including the 3 hour delay. So it's like a blessing in disguise.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And in addition to that, so during our 10K, we had come across a couple of marathon maniacs, and they had asked us a question. So this might be a kind of fun thing to ask the listeners too. Yeah. when you're talking about the word y'all, is that like a singular or is it plural, or would you say all y'all? Like, Patrick, is that the right way that they worded that question? Like, I don't remember.
All y'all got to figure this out.
See, that would be like a big,
that's
extra plural.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had us thinking, but his intro was interesting too, Eric, because he's running with us and he just starts screaming, "Are there any locals here? Anybody from Cincinnati?" And nobody spoke up. I said, "Well, I'm from 4 hours away." And he said, "Okay, you guys will do." So he started asking us that question, and I think I don't know. I gave him the opinion that means we. I think it's plural, but.
Mm-hmm. So these guys, they're from New York, and one of their names is Alec, almost like Eric, but not.
I looked at that and I just thought he spelled Eric wrong, but okay.
No. But so it was Alec and Jamie, and I've come across them so many times over the weekend. I'm like, you guys are my new friends too. So it was a lot of fun. So getting back to the storm thing, we were hunkered down inside with them, and we got to talking, and they have done some really cool ultras and stuff. So I'm like, hey, maybe we can get them on the podcast sometime. Jamie doesn't listen to them, but maybe he'd be on one. We'll see. But they're really fun dudes.
Cool. Very cool.
So,
New Yorkers.
Getting to know Angela though was so nice. I know she's got a lot of big things coming. She's got some big goals and a project coming along. I won't
she's
say
amazing.
Too much about it. But
she's amazing.
Really
and like we have another friend who was just diagnosed with breast cancer, and Angela is like the one I say right away, go out. And I think Angela's connected with Jay. And no, I know she's connected with Jay. Like, her and Jay talk pretty consistently. And I feel like Angela is going out there and being like an ear, a person to talk to give advice for all the other women out there battling. And I went to Angela last year and said, hey, you were so great. And you have this like family of warriors, of women warriors. Can you suggest someone for me to have on the pod in October? And she gave us Sherry, and it was amazing. And I'm going to come back to you, Angela, for another one this year. I already got 2. I'm going to come to you for another one. She's just like, she's so amazing. And this is where the FOMO is kicking in. When I see the pictures of her and a few others who are there, who I think we're going to get to, I was so bummed.
Yep.
I was so bummed, but it was so cool to see. Because Patrick, when you and I were talking earlier, I said I listed everyone who showed up. There was like 8 people, right? And I was like, do you think this would have happened without the podcast? And you're like, no, not a chance. And I'm like, how cool is that? How cool is that?
Yep. Without a doubt. I'm convinced that the podcast brought us all together. It really did.
The pod fam is building. We're growing. I love our pod fam. So I'm so happy. And I'm also upset that I wasn't there. But I'm so happy. But I think you got to get to other surprises, because there are more later that day.
There were. Patrick set up a wonderful early dinner for us, because I don't think I mentioned this to you, Patrick, but if I eat too late in the evening, I get like heartburn and it keeps me up at night. So he scheduled a 4 p.m. Italian dinner, and I was like, he's so smart. We didn't think of it.
When did you find out about this? Because I actually knew this was going down.
Well, I knew that we had dinner plans, but I did not know who would be in attendance.
Did I ever tell you that we were going to have 10 or no?
I think you did later, like early in the weekend, but I didn't know exactly who. You're like, Angela had 5, and then there were 5 between us. And I was like the numbers didn't compute. I'm like, who am I missing? And you're like, I have a secret.
So that's funny. She did walk into it. I remember you started counting in your head and you're going, I don't know you didn't say, I don't know the 10th person. You just said, I can't add it up. It doesn't add up to 10. And I'm like, oh, I've got to come clean a little bit here. And I told her that we had a surprise 10th visitor coming.
Yep. So Angela had invited, let me see if I remember. There was Chelsea and Maureen and Kate and Reggie. And are they all part of the NERC crew?
They are. Mm-hmm.
So love them all. They're fantastic. I really like Reggie too. So I'm hoping we get to talk to Reggie again.
Good.
You're gonna like her. But the surprise guest, we were trying to figure it out. And I'm like, oh my God, is it gonna be like Jeannie? Is Jeannie coming? And then like I was just like, who else is from Ohio? I'm like, Pam? Oh, but she's in Virginia now.
How
And
early, like what time was this you're thinking? Or was this going on for hours or like just a few minutes before you show up?
We had a lot of time to think of stuff when we were waiting for the 5K to start.
Okay.
Dave got into it too. Dave got into it too because
Dave nailed it.
He was thinking,
He threw out a guess and happened to be correct. And should I break the news who it was?
Break the news. Tell me who the surprise guest was for your dinner on Saturday night.
We had the freaking superstar that he is, Jared Ewing. And I was honestly so surprised because when we first found out just a couple weeks ago that he was going to be running, I was like, oh, you should come hang out. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to get there late though. And so he was really like, he threw me off.
He did. He was supposed to throw you off. He was planning on throwing you off.
He did a great job and I did not catch on at all. So
this was one of the special things
with.
I knew was happening and I was so excited. I was so excited for you. I knew this was happening.
It was a wonderful, wonderful surprise.
So
I was very, very
you can
happy.
see the photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go down the line. Let's start here in the black on the same side as Patrick and Angela. Who do we have? Who are the two ladies? The one in the black and then the one in the red.
Maureen.
That's Maureen on the right.
Maureen. Yep. And then Chelsea. You got Angela and then Patrick.
Okay, then let's start on the left side. Who's first?
Oh, sure. So that's Kate.
Katie. It's Katie.
Katie.
Yeah, get it right, Erika.
Katie,
it's
and
Katie, not Kate. Jeez,
Well,
I bet she gets that all the time and it probably bugs her. I'm just kidding. Katie, we love you. I don't even know you. We love you. I get
Reggie.
it.
Reggie's right next
That's
to
Reggie.
Katie.
Okay, Reggie looks
That's
so
Reggie.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And then you got Tara, Dave, myself, and at the head of the table,
Yes.
Mr. Jared.
Now, what made you determine to put Jared at the head of the table and not Erika?
Oh, wow.
I didn't want to be at the head of the table.
In fact, when we were lining up, what you can't tell is that wall behind the people on the left is very close to their chairs. So I know when I
was
walked,
like, I can squeeze.
Yeah, I think people just started saying, I'll fit in there. But I don't know. There was no decision. We just moseyed in and settled down. There really wasn't much of a discussion. I remember hearing Jared say, I'll sit at the head of the table. And I'm like, please.
I think he's
You're a
perfect
special
for it.
guest.
I think he's perfect. He's such a he's a legend. He's gonna be like a on the runs legend. That's what he's gonna become.
Honestly, he is.
Patrick,
Yep.
how did you set this up?
So, I still say, going back to his story, I think about it often. I mean, his show left a lasting impression in my mind. He's so damn inspiring. And I always wanted to meet him because when he described his accident, I had a gut feeling I knew exactly where it happened. I mean, exactly in front of the restaurant of where it happened. So I didn't want to do that over social media, and I always wanted to meet him. And all of a sudden, you guys did your Boston shows, and then he announced he was going to be at the Pig. And so somehow in there, I connected with him, and I just said, hey, I would love to have, get together. I'm planning a dinner. I would love to have you join us. In fact, why don't we do this? Why don't we have you join us and not tell Erika? So we'll make it a surprise. We'll have a surprise guest. And so it was probably, I don't know, it was probably 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever, that we started planning this. So
this is the FOMO I have. I missed out on those moments. I missed out on hanging out with Angela and hanging out with you, Patrick, and Jared. And I missed out on, I know we'll get to it. It looks like you went to a ball game. Don't take this the wrong way. I could do without the running races. It's the people. I have FOMO about missing the people. And that bums me out, but I'm so happy at the same time.
We'll make it happen someday.
Yeah,
man.
we will.
I mean, I will 100% go back.
2034.
Whether it be like if we're going to Menor or if we're going back to Cincinnati, I don't care. Columbus, let's go.
I'll have a walker by 2034.
Are there any popular Monday night races? I can make a Monday night.
Boston. Well, that's Monday morning.
Oh, yeah, so I could do that. I could do that.
It's true.
no, did we
I'll do
lose
it one
Patrick?
day after I get the other 5. Oh, we lost Patrick
we-
Lieber, but he'll jump
Oh,
back
no.
on.
Can you
I know
hear
he
me?
will.
Can you hear
Maybe
me?
his iPad died or something.
Huh.
Oh, well,
I'm here.
Do you want me to just keep going and we'll fill him in when we
Well,
get back to things?
I'm
yeah,
here.
let's not get to the marathon and see if he comes back because that's going to be super.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
I have to hear his side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the end of Saturday night, he's not missing much. So there were a few of us who decided to go out for some extra carbs. There was a brewery right next door. So it was Jared, Patrick, Dave, Tara, and I. And we just had a nightcap of sorts. So we just were chatting some more, getting to know each other better. And yeah, after that, we all went our separate ways and tried to get some sleep for the next day.
So what was the wake up time for the next day then? Sunday morning, you've already done the 1 miler. You already did the 10K and the 5K. So you already got your cheese and your little races. What time did you have to wake up for this marathon?
This one started a half an hour earlier at 6:30. And so this was like a 6 or a 4:15.
Patrick, you were not running,
was,
right? You slept in, Patrick.
Nope.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I was
I'm
exhausted and
so jealous.
funny story is, you know how it's in my head to get up in the 5 o'clock hour? I woke up and it was 5:55 and I frantically woke up like, oh my God, I'm late. I'm not late
But
for
you
anything.
weren't late? No.
No. So,
oh my gosh.
yeah, I was able to sleep in a little.
Well, I'm very glad you were able to because I know it was a rough start for the morning before and you didn't get to nap and just a lot of busy running around. But oh my God, 3 days in a row of waking up at 4 something with, I think maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, just maybe quality
Now I know
sleep.
why you told me on Monday morning, like, I don't really want to record. Do we have to? And I'm like, you told me we could, and I scheduled it already.
You didn't even, I had another day of waking up at 4 o'clock.
4 days in a row.
On Monday.
Oh, you planned that bad.
I wanted to cram in stuff, and that was just the best way I could, where I could get home and relax,
Yeah.
So, anyways, 4:15, here we go.
Did
doing
you
it
get
again.
your morning poop in?
I did. I actually got an extra poop in.
And I asked because you wrote it in the notes.
Yep. So I did manage to go before we left the hotel, which was wonderful. And then, like I said, the purple bridge that we walked across, there was that was part, like when you reach the road, that was part of the race course. So there's porta potties all over the place. So we got to walk by a whole bunch of banks and porta potties. Dave found a clutch one though. It was maybe a quarter mile away from like the corrals. Maybe it might have been a little bit longer than that. But he's like, there's no line here. I'm gonna go. So I'm texting Jared, just trying to tell him where we're gonna be because we were gonna take some pictures. He's running the marathon as well. And then I'm like, oh my God, I think I got another one in me. So I was good to go on Sunday morning, double the poops. I was happy. I was feeling good. And we did meet up with Jared. Some of the pictures, they didn't come out great because we were trying to get the stadium in the background, but it was too bright with all the lights because it was still dark out. And
I thought they came out
did I send
good.
you any of those pics? Well, the one with Jared did, and then I have one with Dave, and that one's a little blurry. But
well, I mean, that's fine. You probably made Dave look better than what he already is.
I was pointing. I'm like, he's wearing their shirt again.
But yeah, here we got you and Jared. This is a good photo. He wears that Hoka in quite a few of his races. Is he sponsored, Jared? Are you sponsored? Could you get Hoka to sponsor the pod?
We were actually talking about that, and we're like, Hoka, what the hell? Get on this. This is the guy you want. He's repping your brand. He's so inspirational. He's kicking ass. Get him on your team. So let this be the plea. You can clip this and tag Hoka in it.
Hoka.
I'm wearing Nike, so I'm out, but that's okay. Oh man. But yeah, so this is the start of the morning. We have maybe a half an hour or so before we start. Jared was in a separate corral, so I was going to drop down with Dave. So what was really nice about this course, the half marathon started at the same time as the marathon, and they got to share the first 8 miles together. So Dave and I were like, we're in this together, buddy. Like, let's go. So yeah, race starts. We are running. We get to go like a
Good, you
mile
weren't
into
walking.
this
That's
race.
good
We're
to know.
crossing. No, we're not walking yet. So we go right into Kentucky. We get to see Tara at mile 1 because it's right by where our hotel is, which is awesome. We're running through Kentucky some more, do more bridges. Cincinnati is deceptively hilly.
Yes.
There are like mile 5, like I think it was 4. It was like a really steep incline. So I look at Dave. I'm like, "Hey, buddy, does this look like a good spot to walk?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think so." So we really did take it easy. Some of the steep hills were like, "Why bother?" Like we knew it was going to be a really hot day, and it turned out to be crazy hot. Like the sun was out in full force. It was like, I swear it was 80 something. It might have been a little less, but still like 75, 80 degrees. Way, way, way more warm than I would have liked.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was humid too. So what else you got for pictures? Show me some stuff.
Well, we're not going to go to pictures. We're now going to go to the fun part of the podcast. And this,
Oh, all right. Well, hold on. Before you get to, I know where you're going.
we're an hour and
So-
11 minutes into this, what was supposed to be an hour.
I told you it was you want 4 days and crammed it, whatever. But so I knew from dinner that Angela was going to be around mile 5.
Okay.
So we were on the lookout, Dave and I. The crowds were out in full force. I was afraid I was going to miss her. And then I run by the mile 5 sign. She's standing like right behind it. So I like kind of backtrack. I see her. We like, woo, we see her. We were so excited. And then I knew that I got to see Patrick at mile 10. So Dave and I ran. We eventually split off at the 8-mile mark. And then I found Sir Patrick here.
Well, back to Angela. Is this the photo or this is not the photo, actually? All right. That's not the photo we're talking about because there's Patrick and he's running. And we all know Patrick has done his 3 marathons and he's done. But until we get him to do another one.
Nope.
All right. So that's not the
I'll
photo.
run it for you, Patrick.
So here's where we're getting at. This is the fun part of the podcast here. Here we go. Patrick reached out to me. God, Patrick, it had to be months ago. And you're like,
Yeah, it was.
hey, I got a content idea. Like, tell me what you think. Are you cool if I do this? And I'm like, well, we need to make sure Erika's okay, but I'm all for this. And you asked me, like, what question should I ask? And I just said, I don't know. You come up with it. You think about it. You do it. And, you know, all I said, the only advice I gave you was do some practice. Do some practice
Right.
running with the camera. You know, we determined one thing. You got to do a bunch of short little videos, not one big long one, right?
Right.
So you
Right.
met Erika somewhere, 8.5 miles on the course, and you ran with her for a couple of miles, and you did a little Q&A.
Yeah. We let me set it up a little bit here, Eric. So these are questions that I have a buddy who has a boat, and we'll sit down at his boat slip, and as the drinks start flowing, our friends start coming up with these bizarre questions, and so these are called doc debates. I gathered these from my high school group and collected them, and we turned it into a little segment. I thought it would be kind of funny. That with oxygen deprivation, because we're actually at the 9.9 mile mark. And I just thought it might be kind of fun to ask Erika these questions when she isn't thinking so clearly, especially because it's hot and humid.
I love it. So I preloaded these, and here we're going to go. So if you're watching on YouTube, you will actually get to see it. And if you're listening, you'll get to hear it. So check it out on YouTube if you want. And just remember, we're about an hour and 15 minutes into the pod. So here's the first one. This is pretty much the intro.
All right. Good morning on the Runs podcast. This is Patrick Lieber, and we have 6-star Erika right here. Yes, we're taking a little break from walking.
It's hot. It's really hot.
Yep. It's really hot. I had 72 waters that I gave away over at the my son's
Last
apartment.
one.
Save the last one for Erika. And what we're going to do today is we're going to ask her some questions. I'm calling it oxygen deprivation questions. And we'll see just how smart she is.
Oh boy.
And how good she is at trivia.
Oh no. Don't think less of me, people.
Okay.
All right. Well, that was a great little intro, Patrick, but let's get to the first question you had, and it was quite fitting, being about pigs.
All right. Question number 1. most races have corrals, but down at the Flying Pig, we have pig pens. Are you offended by your pig pen assignment?
Absolutely not. They put me in the exact right pen. I'm so happy with it.
Okay, check. That's a good mark.
That's
All right, Erika, what did you think about your pig pen assignment?
They really did put me in a good one. So I actually was in a corral higher. I was supposed to be in corral C, but I dropped down to corral D, just because I wanted to run with Dave, and you're allowed to drop back, but you can't go forward in your corral. So we still started off pretty early. I think we only started maybe 13 minutes past when the gun went off. And I was perfectly happy. We had plenty of space to run and lots of fun.
Did they look like pig pens, or did they just call it you're in a pig pen?
They just called it that because one of the other things that they do, you don't have a finish line, you have a finish swine. So, they were just very cute with their puns and their plays on words. Yeah, it's cute.
Everything about it, they do that for. They label so many different things that we aren't thinking of right now, but that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it a festival environment, Erika.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Absolutely. I love it.
Just to help Eric out, just to help give him the visual.
All right. Well, I love how they do the pig pens there. But let's get to question number 2 about the Queen.
All right, question number 2. You've been here for a couple days now, Erika.
yes, and it's been great.
And you've had plenty of time to study the city. Okay. Cincinnati is known as the Queen City. Why don't you tell all your followers, why is it known as the Queen City?
Because I'm here.
Yay!
I don't know the real reason though, so I gotta do my research.
Okay, I like your answer better, so I'm giving you credit for it.
All right, cool.
But in case anybody's interested, a long time ago, the newspaper labeled the city as the Queen City of the West.
Oh.
And that's the coolest thing to think about, is that Cincinnati used to be thought of as the West.
Right.
That is amazing if you look at a map.
It really is.
Anyways, fun fact. All right.
So I always thought the Queen City was the largest city in the state that wasn't a capital. So, for instance, Manchester, New Hampshire is the Queen City because it's not the capital, but it's the biggest city in the state. Same for Charlotte, North Carolina. So I've lived in 2 Queen cities. When you told me about this question, Patrick, beforehand, I thought I knew the answer, but I was wrong.
Yeah, there's a different history there. And I knew it was Charlotte. If you actually Google Queen City, Charlotte comes up first. And it talks about the history of Charlotte and stuff. So then I dug deeper into it, and it has a different history. The city of Cincinnati has a different history. So,
well, I honestly had no idea, so I was pulling that answer out of my butt.
But I gave you credit for it because it was a great answer.
Why, thank you. I tried.
I gave you credit for being creative.
That was the best I could do.
Well, Erika, all what we ask for is your best, and we love it when you give us your best. But sometimes you just do things weird in my mind, and when I heard the answer to this question, I was like, that's weird.
Okay, next question. Corn on the cob. Okay?
Yes.
People eat it one of 2 ways.
They go.
They either eat it left or right, or they eat around the cob and then start another column. Do you eat your corn on the cob across, left to right, or around the cob?
I go around the cob.
Do you?
Yep.
Okay,
and
now.
I work my way from one end to the other.
Okay, now why? Why do you do
I
that?
have no idea.
Did your parents teach you that?
Subconsciously, maybe. No clue.
All right.
Yes.
A fun fact.
Yes.
Another fun fact about Erika.
Erika, corn on the cob. You go all the way around?
I mean, you start at one end and you just turn, and then you just go
No, it's like a typewriter. You got to go.
I don't like it that way. I wonder if it's just the way it gets stuck in my teeth. I don't know. It gets more on one side, but I'd rather be stuck in the middle. I don't know.
And then, Patrick, you said there's 2 ways to eat corn on the cob. Left to right or all the way around. What about right to left? Is that not allowed?
That's another thing. I go
yeah.
right to left. I mean, it might not look. Yeah, I go from the right end to the left
I
side.
don't know. Hey, you could also eat randomly.
Put it on my weird tab list.
You could also eat in random spots and make your corn on the cob look sick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
My
can
kids
always
do that.
cut it off the cob and eat it that way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. My 3-year-olds do that. There's like a couple little spots here and there, and then I finish it for them later. Yeah. But Erika goes all the way around. That was kind of weird. What do you guys think of that video I made, the teaser? And I like kind of took things from every little
That was
bit.
great.
And I made sure to put in the one where you go, I go around.
people are definitely like, what the hell is she talking about?
That was great.
That's another question. People chime in. I'd love to see if I am the weird one eating corn.
Yeah.
How do you eat
They
corn?
don't need to chime in. We already know that. But do chime in. Tell us what you do. Do you go all the way around, or do you go left to right, right to left? Are you like my 3-year-old twins who are just all over the map? Let us know. All right, next question. I actually like this one. I was kind of curious too, and I heard it like, why do they call it that?
Okay, on to my favorite question. So, I had this asked of me from a Japanese colleague when he was picking on the English language.
Yes.
And he said, what does J stand for in the term jaywalking? Now, I'm going to give you a second to think about it. I can give you a hint. It's not our friend Jay Duncan.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with Jay. But why isn't it K-walking? Why isn't it P-walking? Vuvuzela's, right?
Yes.
So here we go, jaywalking.
Does the J stand for jerk walking or something?
Okay,
like,
well,
like that's
jerk walking.
You didn't cross and across.
You're actually close.
Okay.
All right.
Jerk walking.
Jerk walking. All right, here's what I learned. Believe it or not, the word J has one definition known
music
and
in the
referred to as
background.
absent-mindedness.
Oh,
So it is
nice.
absent-minded walking.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I mean,
That
it makes
is.
sense.
I'm learning stuff.
All right.
I'm learning stuff.
I mean, I honestly had no idea. That's not something I've ever thought about. Like, that's just what it's called, jaywalking.
That's why it's
whatever.
a cool question. We take it for granted. We just take it for granted, right?
Don't be a jerk. Don't jaywalk.
During that entire time we're watching those videos, I missed a goal. But the first period is over, the Bruins game, and they're up 1-0. Let's go, Bees! But that was interesting. I never knew that about jaywalking. So a theme to these questions was the Queen City, and also the Queen likes to drink tea.
Okay, next question. In the spirit of the earlier one about the Queen and royalty, next question is, how many spots of tea are there in a tither? How many spots of tea are there in a tither? But you got to tell everybody why, too.
I don't have the foggiest clue. I've
Foggiest
never
clue.
heard
You
of
almost
it.
said the F word.
So Patrick, you got to fill me in.
Okay, all right. And guess what your answer is? Correct. Because it's a fake question.
Oh, yes!
There's no such thing as a spot of a tea in a tither.
That makes me happy because I was like, I don't know.
All right.
Patrick over here throwing the curveballs. Like,
Fake question.
Great question. I let you off the hook, too, because I'm telling you, down in our dock, we will talk for 20 minutes about that and get into a real debate and an argument.
even though it's a fake question.
It's a fake question, yes. People will make up answers like they're confident, and nobody has any answer.
That is amazing. I wouldn't mind hanging out with you and your friends for one of your doc discussions or debates. Doc debates.
Doc
that's the one.
debates.
Doc debates.
So good.
These are fun. These are becoming fun. All right, we got 3 more questions. Erika, real quick. How are you handling these questions? Are you oxygen deprived, or are you guys walking and running? Like, you're running during the questions. Are you able to, like, think?
So I can think because while we are running, he's actually running with me as we go, and I'm just hot. I'm warm, but we're running a relatively slow pace, so I can focus. I can breathe. If you asked me these at mile 18, Patrick, I would have been like,
okay.
"Don't talk to him."
I made it
But no,
easy
you
on
asked
you.
them. You asked them at the perfect moment, so I could at
Okay.
least kind of form a thought. A little
Except
bit.
you didn't know what a spot of tea is in a tither.
I have to say I'm not a tea drinker. I'm not a coffee drinker either. So that it could have been a real question. I still wouldn't have had a clue.
All right. Well, let's get some real questions. Let's go back to school.
All right, next question. So we all went to school and we all had grades A, B, C, D, and F. Okay, tell everybody why we don't have a grade E. Why does it go A, B, C, D, F? Why don't we have E?
Because E is for excellent.
Oh,
and
you
people
got it.
would totally get mixed up.
You got it.
Did
you
I
did
really?
study.
That's just my thought.
She
E's
did her
also for
homework.
Erica, so either way, it's great.
That's the reason I heard we don't have E. I never knew that till I looked this up.
These questions, Patrick.
You got it. You got it. I didn't know that. You got that so quick. It made me feel bad. Like everybody knows this. Eric, did you know that answer?
No.
Again, I was pulling it out of my butt and I hoped I was right. So, but these are wicked fun questions. And I really was enjoying answering them because it took my mind off of being miserable for a few minutes. So
This should be like a thing you do all the time, Patrick. Like you should have your own show, marathon questions. You could call it, like you said, oxygen, whatever, deprivation, by chairman of the board.
you could ask these questions during your group runs with the nerd crew.
Yeah.
That's true. No, they'll think I'm too weird. It just worked out well with your theme of on the runs here. So I don't know.
I'm
was
very
great.
glad you did
This has turned into a great content piece. We have 2 more questions, and they are not going to disappoint.
Okay, question number 3. When you brush your teeth, do you put water on the toothbrush first and then toothpaste and then water afterwards? What order do you do it in? And tell everybody why.
I do water first, put the toothpaste, and also water after.
You're
You gotta
so
make the
weird.
bubbles.
Yeah, bubbles, there it is.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
we're getting
bubbles,
everything
weird.
right so far.
Bubbles.
100%.
Oh, Miss
So
Bubbles.
what?
Bubbles.
Do you guys not do that? Like, is that a weird way to do it?
You
Like,
are so weird, Erica.
why?
Bubbles. I've never
That's
thought
literally
of
how
bubbles.
you make the foam. Like when you brush your teeth, it makes your all the bubbles get in between your teeth. That's how it gets clean. Like
You want it to show and all the bubbles show? And
But let's
I mean,
go back to the
if
beginning.
I'm brushing my teeth alone, I'm all like, I don't care what it looks like. I get like all over my face.
Let's go back to the beginning. You put water on the toothbrush first?
Mm-hmm.
No.
that makes bubbles.
You put the toothpaste
I
on
went-
and then you put water on top of the toothpaste.
I don't know. It's just that's just what I do. It's I don't know. Wet the bristles before and then
Can we convince you to try it differently?
tonight.
Bubbles.
I will try it.
If you are
That was my
watching
oxygen deprivation.
if you
Yeah.
are watching this on YouTube, and I really hope it goes on YouTube because we've had a couple some difficulties playing these videos. I want you to write in the comments, do you put on the toothpaste first and then water, or water then toothpaste? I
See,
want to
this is a
know.
question since my dad watches these YouTube videos. Hi,
Shout
Dad.
out Don.
And tell him that we're right. I mean, I don't know how you do it, but it must be a Hamill thing, okay?
Write it in the comments.
We're doing it the right way.
Yes. I love our favorite YouTube watcher, Don Hamill. Love you, buddy. Thank you. All right. We have one more question. Patrick, why don't you lead us into this question? This was the best question.
Yes, I had a good time with this one. I wanted to preface this that now I'm running with Erika, and I'm about to say this is an On the Runs exclusive, or I say something like that. And a couple runners over to my left hear me say that, and I'm building the question up and building it up, and they're slowing down. They want to hear the question. So I think I turned the camera on them eventually, and you may not be able to understand the background, but I had to explain that so you understand why I turned the camera, because these two guys were like, we're waiting to hear the answer. What's the, or no, we're waiting to hear the question. So they wanted to participate. So to your earlier comment, Eric, yeah, maybe this is a theme. You should go to these races and just run and record people and ask them the silliest questions.
You could have a sign.
Make a sign that says, "Can I ask you questions?"
Exactly, because I thought of this when you were doing the cheap marathon, Erica, because I knew this was happening, or I thought of it after you did it, that I could totally have done this at cheap, and we could be hanging out on the rail trail and say, put a sign out there that says, do you want to be on a segment of the pod where we ask you a random question while running? Like, we could totally do this. I think we should try it for cheap next year. Let's not run cheap.
I'm running cheap next year.
All right, we'll find another race we can do it at. We'll go to a race and do this. Maybe Manchester if I'm not running Manchester. But all right,
there we go.
Last question. It was good. Patrick, great job with these, man.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Final question. And an OTR exclusive. Okay? Erica has to choose one of these. Okay? What would you rather do? Which is the better of the two? Okay?
Yeah.
Clogging the toilet on a first date. Or clogging the toilet on your first day at work and everybody would know it's you. OTR exclusive.
Let's go first date because there will not be a second date.
Okay. And
if there is, that person is my soulmate and they won't care.
There they are.
Yeah. I think she gets credit. They all do. The two gentlemen in front of us get credit too for that.
Love it.
Because it would live in infamy.
It would.
Even
I would be known as the office pooper or something.
The office
pooper.
Even if you left the company, they would still say to the newbies who came in, hey, you're not going to believe this Erica we used to have.
Amazing.
All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. We're out here sweating a little bit.
A lot.
I'm going back. Erica's at about the 10.5 mile mark now. So.
Oh, I hit 11, Patrick.
Did you?
Yeah.
We're having so much fun we lost track.
I made him run a mile with me.
All right, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Go, Erica. 6-star
Go,
Erica. Nashua, 6-star Erica.
The best freaking question. So you saw those guys in it, and they were literally like, I was watching them before I answered, and the guy to the left goes,
"Did he really?
Pick number one. Pick number one." And I was like, yes, I'm going to pick the first answer because you can't. Oh my gosh, I would hate to be the office pooper.
The office pooper.
I mean, everybody's gonna know.
So I want to make this question better, and I'm not giving you the solution now, but I think the obvious answer was on the date because there won't be a second date.
Yes.
So
yes.
You need to ask the same.
Unless they're your soulmate.
Right. But you need to keep this question, but change it up. Don't ask about the date. So have it be clogging the toilet at work, or clogging the toilet at like a Christmas party with all your best friends and family, right? Don't give her the out of, well, there won't be a date number 2.
Okay.
So work and
Two
family.
Different groups. Two different groups.
That you can't avoid.
Yeah.
So that's how I think you can
good.
improve. It's the best question, but I think like everything, it can improve.
Sure.
Everyone's going to answer first date. But like, if you do work first week on the job.
You might get the real brave one who's going to establish dominance
and
at
everybody
their
knows
job.
Whether it's your family, whether it's your family issue or your work issue, everybody's going to know. However that happens or why it happens. Yeah, you're right.
What's
that makes
worse
it harder.
is if you do it at a Christmas party and all of your family knows, they're gonna like never let you live it down for the rest of your life.
You could even do a Christmas party. Would it rather be a work Christmas party or a family Christmas party?
So wait a minute. If it's a work Christmas party and people would know it was you.
Yes. Oh yeah. Everybody knows. Everybody
then I'd have
knows.
to go family Christmas party.
I love.
God damn it!
Dane
I
Cook.
don't know.
I'm a big Dane Cook fan. When he was like, when we were in college, Erica, back in the day, back when we met.
Oh, that was his good stuff.
Yes, it was great.
Stuff.
And there's the classic one of when you go to party, I want you to go in the closet and shit on the coats.
Yes, I remember that.
Shit on the coats, and then someone will look and notice and go, somebody shit on the coach. And then you walk in there and go, I hope it wasn't on my coat. Or you could walk up to it and go, I think someone shit on the coat. Yeah, I can smell it. It's over here. Somebody shit on the coat.
Oh my God.
Dane Cook was awesome. The seatbelt when he's getting head on his first date and he's just going to talk to the seatbelt. I'm gonna go. There's so many. Or my favorite, I still talk about this one. Oh no, there's a couple. There's the one about the guy at work that nobody likes, but you
Fucking
get that
Brian.
guy. You get that guy candy because one day he's gonna come there. He's gonna shoot up the place, but he's gonna come to your stall and he's gonna go, "Thanks for the candy."
I thought this was the fucking Brian's coming.
Oh, well, no, that's so fucking Brian's coming, and like Karen's always a bag of douche. How funny is that? He picked the name Karen, and then Karen 20 years later became, the don't be a Karen.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite though is car alarm.
Oh, you did this one.
Yeah, you're like, it could happen to me right now. I'm on Water Street in Tampa, and then someone's car could be going off, and I'd be like making up words for it. Hello.
The one.
I'm a car. Oi,
The one
is my blood.
The one I always think of is like, I hate that it's Mary, but how did Mary die? A tire hit her in the face. That's a NASCAR thing. So.
It was, yeah.
Tire. That's I don't know why that's the one that just pops. Oh,
there's so many. Like I still have those on my original iPod that is still in my truck and still works when it's plugged in all the time. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Dane Cook, man. Thank you for the laughs, man. Thank you for the laughs. The good times.
Hey, I've got a question for Erica. I have one more question for Erica.
Sure.
This is more serious than it is silly, but so we didn't tell the story yet about what I made for you and you found on the course.
Oh my gosh.
Let me build this up and then we'll get to your point, okay? So the Flying Pig Marathon has a unique thing about making swines, which are signs, okay? Sure, you can go to the expo.
Forgot about those.
Yeah, sure, you can go and you can make a sign at the expo and carry it and post it, but they can do it online beforehand. And so I signed up and I said, I'm going to make a sign for Erica. And then I did it and it was all done and I knew nothing about it. I just made this sign. So I wrote the administrator and said, can I pick this up at the expo or something? And she wrote back and she said, no, we use an artist and we make the sign and then we post it on the course. And I wrote her back and I said, well, where's the sign going to be? And she said, have your runner look for it. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Oh my, you're kidding me. We're going to find a needle in a haystack. Yeah, on a marathon. They know that you're running the marathon. And so I made the sign up. And Erica, when you tell your part of the story, if you don't remember it, I'll tell everybody what it said. But so I had to tell Erica. There was no more a surprise. I said, Erica, by the way, I made this sign up and it's somewhere on the course. So we laughed about it. And I'm thinking, there is no way in hell she's going to find this. Now we get to Erica.
I found it.
Where were you? I don't even know this story yet.
They made it very easy because they had specific sections that just had a ton of signs and people weren't holding them. They were just like leaning up against like the like fences and the curbs. And I was like, this has to be one of the spots. And I actually came across two of them, but luckily I found yours in the first. So this was maybe I'm thinking mile 19 or 20.
Oh, it was that far out. Okay.
Yeah. So I just saw like that there were all these signs.
There it is.
Thank you for that. Yep. So they had them there and I walked and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to miss him. And I looked at every single sign that I saw and boom, it's right there. I was so happy to find it. I did send Patrick a selfie. I had to do like a selfie mode and then I like flipped it around, and so it read the right way. And
I was.
oh my
I'm
gosh,
disappointed the yellow on white doesn't show up because it says Nashua's 6-star rock star, right? Queen City welcomes Erika. So,
but it looks great. I'm still so happy that you did that. That was like one of the last things I could look forward to, because I had already seen Angela, I already saw you, and now I'm just like, I was just working my way down the course, and then bam, there it was.
That's cool. And I didn't even know, she just sent this to me and we haven't talked about it. So I was dying to know where you found it. So that's great. Thanks for sharing the story.
Oh, thank you for making that for me. It was so much fun. I got so excited. I stopped, like I was taking pictures. Oh,
tell me about this
guy
one.
I saw him a couple of times on the course. This is around mile 15, and mile 15 is my favorite part of the whole course. But this guy, he was traveling around, and so it just is a sign that says crop dusting is okay, and it's got a poop emoji.
Nice.
So
yeah.
I stopped and I asked him, I'm like, do you mind if I take a picture? He's like, yeah, sure. So
Did you
this
tell
was
him?
right before.
Did you tell him why? Did you give him a Stoolie sticker or anything?
I didn't have the Stoolie stickers on me then because I was so sweaty, but nah. Maybe we could just put a call out to the Flying Pig race or something. Oh, here's our buddy Dave. Oh, now you're going through all of them.
Well, I just went right for this one since we're on the topic of signs. And since Patrick didn't put on the runs on Erika's special sign,
I did actually.
Here's the on the runs picture sign here.
Yeah.
So I got the word out somehow. I should have slapped a sticker on him, but
that was good. That was good right there. They on their website, on the Flying Pig Facebook site, they posted, somebody asked the question, okay, everybody share your favorite signs. I don't know if you've gone there and looked at it, but
no, I haven't. I'm going to.
Yeah, you need to go look at it. And my favorite was, and maybe you've seen this at a race, but I've never seen this at a race. I thought it was hilarious. It said, I've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
I saw that one on the course.
Did you see it?
I saw somebody holding it, but I didn't think it was. Unless like somebody just posted it. Like anybody could post them.
Yeah,
like
anybody
to
could
the
post
Facebook
them.
page.
Yeah.
Then I did see that one.
Yeah.
There was another one that I laughed at, but I forget. I don't think I took a picture of it, but
that's called oxygen deprivation.
Yep.
You can't remember it.
But going back to mile 15, that was right around like when I really started to sample the course cuisine, if you will. So like mile 12, I had a Girl Scout cookie. Mile 15, I hit 2 bacon stations. Wow. I had a shot of tequila and like 2 cups of beer. Plus like Twizzlers here and there. I think I had a couple of grapes, like an orange slice. I was just like, whatever, I'm going to make the most out of this. And that was the first part of some of the weird shit that I ate on the course.
Wow. That's great that you experienced that. I'm glad you did that.
I had to. It was fun. Like, I've never been to a race where they had all the weird, like they were specific course aid stations that had, like, I got a marshmallow and a chocolate chip cookie at one station. Like they had the Girl Scout cookies. They had different flavors you could choose from. And this was on the sheet of paper that specifically told you what each aid station was. They had a hydration station, maybe not the beer and tequila, but like all the snacks, like, they had like Twizzler station. It was unreal and so much fun. And spoiler alert, I did not shit my pants. I made it the whole way.
Congratulations. Nice job. You should be proud. It's not good for the pod, though. Not good for our content.
I ate so much weird shit. And so that's one thing, Eric. I'm trying to make a reel. I started taking some videos about all the stuff I ate. And of course, I'm missing bits and pieces, but Instagram's really pissing me off where it's not like I'll put them in and it just isn't lining up my voice to the, like, I'm actually speaking it, you know what I mean? So it's
your audio
me,
is
so maybe,
off with Instagram?
But it's my audio from the clip that's like, I don't understand. Like it's me talking in the clip and it's still not working. So I'll figure something out.
Send it to me.
Maybe I'll send them to you. Yeah.
Send me a couple. Let me see if it does it to me. Yeah. Sure. Well, Erika, in the nicest way possible, let's wrap up the Flying Pig Marathon.
Yes, let's. So I knew that this race, because it was so hot, I had done a lot of walking. It was so pretty. I took pictures. Like I spent time with Patrick. I would not have changed a thing, but I knew this was going to be a slow marathon for me. I was anticipating being somewhere in the 4.5 to 5 hour range. And then slowly it started to go into the 5 hour, 5:15 range. But then once I hit like the later miles, I was like, all right, I still got some steam. Another shot of tequila helped me out. So I wound up squeaking in there just barely under 5 hours with like a 4:59.18. So I am so proud of myself for doing that because it was a very tough day for a lot of people.
It was.
And I mean, I just completely enjoyed every step of that race. And that was the most I could ask.
You know who it
That's
wasn't
great.
a tough day for? Jared had a PR. And I think credit has to go to Patrick for setting up that dinner.
Maybe.
He crushed that. And you know what? He stopped too. He had told
did.
us he was planning on going fast for the first part of the race. And then he had people along the course that he wanted to see. So he just did so amazing. And I applaud him 150 million %.
Way to go,
Yeah,
Patrick. I mean,
amazing.
Jared.
Amazing. He did. He had multiple stops. He came to me and we stopped and I said, dude, we got to keep going. Come on. And he said, no. We need to take a couple selfies. I ran fast early so that I could do this with you. So it's amazing to think what he can do, what he could do if he just focused on the race, right? He just ran. Wow. That was awesome, Jared. Congratulations. Congratulations, Erika. You did great too.
So I got my medal here. I earned this bad boy. So if you look at the front, it's got a cute little pig on it. But then if you flip it over, look at the pig butt. So both the 10K and the 5K have medals. They're just smaller, but they're just like this with the front and the back like that. But then because I did that 4-way challenge, I got this big ass pig medal too. Sorry. Oh, and it also has a pig butt on the back. So I don't know. There we go. He's got a mask on. And I got like a little medallion with a piggy, and then there's another pig butt. So
I love it.
Again, leaning into the pig thing.
Yeah.
I was so happy I came out here, and the whole experience was unreal.
I love a race that has a theme, and like they take ownership of that theme, and that just seems so cool. Like I want to experience the Columbus one, the nationwide one. Patrick, you say that's your favorite, and it's just so cool and emotional. And I want to go to Menor, Ohio one day too, and run in your local 5K or something with you guys, and go camping in your yard, and go to Angela's pool party. But I have to go to the Flying Pig because it has a theme, and they stick to it, and they own it, and that just sounds so cool. And I think it makes it more exciting. Like, oh, you got to do Flying Pig versus like, oh, you have to go and run in the Denver Marathon. Like, what's exciting about the Denver Marathon? They got to give it a theme, like call it the Mile High Marathon. Maybe they do. I'm making up a city there. Like Manchester, New Hampshire, Millennium Running. Let's build the Manchester race. Let's make it a weekend festival or something. Let's do it. Right, Kathy? Let's do it.
she can't hear you. She just
I know. I say that all the time.
But you will see so many people on the course who are embracing it as well. Like, so my hat, I had 2 different hats that had flying pigs on them. I got them from Sprints. They're wicked cute. Like my visor had like pigs. I don't know. It was super cute. And then I saw a few of them, you know, like the pigs in space from the Muppets. I saw them on the course. Pigs in space. Like that. I'm lost for words. It was just that incredible, and everybody had fun. Well, I say that most people had fun. I hope you had fun, but I highly recommend it. There is a reason this was voted the #1 marathon in the country. That's all I can say.
Really?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's so cool.
Just recently.
All right.
Just recently. Yep.
Yep. I think
Is it
from
the
race
marathon,
raves
or is it because of the whole weekend?
I
Might be
don't know.
marathon specifically, but
Well, no, I get
think
that,
the
but
weekend's
I
incredible.
bet you the whole weekend plays a role into that.
It has
it's
to.
very
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is voted on race raves, or at least that's one of the websites where you can vote for the top marathons, and this one got the top spot, and I totally agree with it.
I love it. It's cool. I'll be there one day. Don't know what year. All right. But we're not off the hook because Erika brought something up, and I need Patrick's opinion. And again, if you're listening, still listening, this has been a super long race
I
recap.
told you it wasn't going to be short.
I know. I was like, I don't want to do this more than like 65 minutes.
An hour.
I think it took us 65 to get to those videos, if not longer. All right. Erika brought this up the other day. She has a goal, Patrick, of running a marathon in every state. Well, it just happens to be the Flying Pig Marathon runs in Ohio and Kentucky.
Right.
Does it count for both?
Oh, no. You're going to have to pick one.
Agreed.
That's what I said.
I thought you said both.
Nope, you have to choose one or the other.
Yeah,
I don't even think you have to choose. Unless the finish line's in one state and the starting line's in the other. If it starts and finishes in Ohio, it's Ohio. You don't get to count it as Kentucky. So actually, here's the debate. Here's the real debate, Patrick. I remember now. She's shaking her head. She wants to do Columbus, and she thinks she can count Flying Pig as Kentucky. I say no, you cannot, because it starts and ends in Ohio. That's your Ohio Marathon. If you can go do Columbus, but you still have to go to Louisville, Kentucky, or somewhere in that bluegrass state and run a marathon. It does not count as Kentucky for you. This is an Ohio marathon.
I think
it's
that
Cincinnati.
if you are
what
going
you
by
think does not matter. You are wrong.
The criteria for the Marathon Maniacs. I want to say I can double check this and let people know, but if it goes into different states, you can choose which one it counts towards.
This is how you do it.
Wow.
Google where is I'm typing with one hand, so it's super slow. The Flying Pig Marathon located.
It's Cincinnati.
Hey, I'll settle this.
All right.
She's
So
the
it's
queen.
Ohio.
She gets to
Cincinnati.
decide.
Cincinnati's in Ohio.
Also, I can do whatever I want. I'm
Right.
not doing this officially, so
But
Hey,
are you
Eric.
going to live? Wait, are you going to live your life until your grandkids and your great grandkids or your great grandcats, since you're a crazy cat lady, that you ran a marathon in every state, but when they look up your like run registration, it doesn't show Kentucky? Are you going to be like, oh, well, this marathon touched Kentucky for 30 feet, so it counts?
hey, it counts.
No, it doesn't.
Eric.
As long as I did another
Eric, she's the queen. She can decide.
Patrick's on my side.
Hey guys,
No,
I
I
don't
will
I
look
don't
into
make the
this,
rules.
but
I
it's a
just follow
preference
them,
thing.
and it's not the rule
Well,
is it doesn't count.
I will find the rule then, and I will show you.
Everyone,
Or
please
let
tell
your-
us.
But I won't do it right now because I don't want to waste anybody's
Yeah,
time.
let the pod fam decide. What's their
We're going to
opinion?
make posts about this. We're going to ask questions, Pod Fam. Tell us in the comments wherever I post it. It does not count. You have to go to Louisville or somewhere in Kentucky. Bluegrass
I'm
Marathon or
not
something.
saying I don't want to go somewhere else. I'm just saying that I could count it as something else.
When you have
I
50,
came here
you
to
can't be
Ohio.
like you have to you can't
You
have
think
50.
I'm going to stop traveling when I hit 50?
No,
Like,
but
what
I
else
don't
am
want you
gonna
to
do?
use it as like
I gotta go more places.
I don't want you to use it as a buyout.
I
it doesn't
doubt
count as
I
Kentucky.
will.
It's an
I'm just
Ohio
saying
marathon.
I could.
Sounds like
Oh
a
my
doc
God,
debate.
dude.
I
Sounds
think
like
we
a
need to
doc
bring this up
debate.
to NERC.
Somebody
Chairman
crack
of the
me a
board,
beer.
please bring this up for a debate.
Oh my God.
I'll let you guys
Well,
settle it.
This
You're
was
like, and I'm out. No, this is what a lot of people say they like about us is that we're like, no, we'll argue with each other.
I think it's
'Cause we
it's
have-
like
we
we
have
like
our
that
opinions.
Eric gives you shit and
He does
and,
give me shit.
and
Yeah.
comes at you like
but
that.
I'll
like,
dish it back. I'll
Have
dish
you
it
ever
back.
though? Have you ever like questioned something I said and be like, no,
Yeah,
no,
it's
you're
just like
off.
the other day.
Fuck, Florida just scored again. It's 2-1 Florida.
Ooh.
You're ahead of
That's
me.
why. That's why I'm glad
Oh,
I didn't.
you're
go.
ruining
There
the
it
game
is.
for Patrick, man.
Yeah. No, that's
How-
okay. I just saw a
Anyways.
goal.
Okay, just a few
See,
seconds.
this
behind.
is
Oh, well, it's because I'm in Florida, so I'm closer. So I'm getting more of the.
Oh.
It takes a little longer to get to Ohio there.
nice.
The fiber cables.
Okay.
You know?
Nice.
Yeah,
All right.
your Wi-Fi's slower in Menor.
I know. It is. It always has been.
See, they're giving everybody shit. It's not just me.
Hey, this was yeah. We'll have to think of when you gave me shit. Not shit because you give me shit, but when have you told me like, nope, you're wrong? Because if I remember, I am always right.
It was the other day we were arguing about something, but I just don't remember what
And
it
I was right. Was it during
the Boston Tracker. No, it was the Boston Tracker, and
I was right.
I was right.
No, you
All right, let's agree to disagree because this is going to get annoying for the
Actually,
people.
you brought up Boston, and you reminded me something. I wanted to say this at the end or at some point, especially on air with Patrick. Patrick, I think you should come to mile 19 next year at the Boston Marathon.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool.
I have a spare bed, Patrick. You're welcome to it.
I will think about it. Seriously, I'll think about it. I got to get
Please
there.
do.
I love cheering. I just absolutely love it.
It is. Well, you know how much fun it is because you do it.
Yep. In fact, after I left you, Erika, I did run back and I ran back on the course. And I
really?
I couldn't do that in Boston, but I ran back on the course and I was waiting for an officer to say something to me, especially because I was holding a selfie stick. It looked like I had a weapon,
Oh,
and
okay.
I had at least a half dozen people say to me, "You're running the wrong way," which, right, they should be, because I was actually running against the grain. But I joked with them and I said I was a salmon swimming upstream, cheering them on.
There you go.
So
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So yeah. So anyways, I love cheering. I really do. I look at it. I did 4 years of just going down there to cheer for the people. I go down there and I buy little 4-ounce bottles of water to hand out. So I just love that part.
That was a lifesaver too, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I wish I had more because you're a middle of the pack runner, and yet I
for
had the
everybody
last
else.
one for you, and I felt terrible. I had to move the cooler behind the chairs where we were because
you didn't want somebody to get their hopes up.
Right.
You're an ass. Oh, God, what a bad guy. Wouldn't give his last water to some runner.
Right.
He did. He gave it to this one.
Patrick, when's your next book coming out?
It's going to take a couple years. I want to run in every state, and I think I have 13 to go. So I have to get adventures from each of those runs, including when I visited you guys in the fall. So I have to put that all together. So it's going to take a couple years.
Well, anyone out there, if you ever want to write a book, I highly suggest reach out to Patrick Lieber. He lives the life of leisure, and he would love to talk to you about writing books and how to publish it on your own and come up with the right cover art and get editors and all that. Or if you are writing a book, I'm sure he would love to review your drafts. So
yes,
he has all the time. And the second book, will it be forwarded by On the Runs?
Will it be what? Forwarded?
By
Sponsored?
On the Runs?
What do you mean?
Isn't there always like a forward in a book?
Oh, I got you. There will be stories. You will be referenced. I will need to get your permission to have your names in it. So definitely you'll be in there.
How fun.
We could have disguise names. We could make up our own names, Erika.
Disguise names.
Yes. Yeah.
6-star ham.
Whatever.
That's innocent.
I would let you use my name. That's fine.
Same.
As long as it's not a really bad story.
Nah.
You would never do that to us.
We haven't had any bad stories. Not that I remember.
See, there we go. Nope.
Yet.
We're all good.
Yep.
Well, this was
It's
fun.
been great.
Yeah, I hope you can come and hang out with us at mile 19 because I'm guaranteed to be there, especially if Erika doesn't run. If she runs, I would give you the buyout because then I might be running around the course cheering for her and getting content. But if she's not running, I want mile 19 to be an epic party. I already know it will be with Tara and Lindsay there. But yeah, Patrick, this was fun. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad we got you on Riverside because I think you were our last regular, not regular, but when we started this, we did it all on Facebook Messenger. I think you were the last one.
Yeah, I remember. I wasn't. I have a face for radio, not for video here. So
it was a lot of fun. That was. And Erika and I have done this a couple of times. We had a guest coming on, and we're like, "Man, how do you think's going to happen with this one? You think it's going to go good? You think it's going to go great, whatever?" And yours was one of those. And when we left, we were like, "That was awesome."
We absolutely loved it.
That was so much fun. And there's been a couple that we thought, one in particular, that was going to be great. And when we left, we were like, meh. So Yours
Well,
was
it's all because you're such a great person, Patrick, and it just
thank you.
shows. You're just you're just so happy, and you just want everybody else to share in that, and it just shows. And we love you for it. It's great.
Thank you. Hey, you know what, Erika? My son said after this visit and meeting you guys, and he sees races. You know, he's been watching me run for years. He says, you know what? He was telling his girlfriend, you know what's unique about runners is that you are all positive. It's interesting he picked that out.
Try.
Yeah, he said we're all positive. We're all supporting each other. We all have fun together. We can all laugh at each other. We can all rib each other. You know, it's a good group of people. So it's interesting to get a non-runner's perspective of it. And he said it to me on this trip. So I thought I'd share that with you.
I thought you were going to say he was going to start running, and I was like, we got it covered.
No,
we tried.
Wouldn't be the first.
He's tried before. Yeah,
but I mean, he's totally right. That's why we keep coming back, because if you can keep it as a positive environment, then there's no reason not to. Like it's fun, and then that's just incentive for us to keep doing it.
It's great. You guys are doing a great job. I love your podcast, and I love your format. And so keep up the great work, guys.
Thank you, Patrick. And thank you for everything over this whole entire weekend. It would not have been the same without you. I mean, this was just absolutely epic, and I'm so happy we got to spend time with you.
Great. I called it a priceless memory, a priceless piece of history. It really was. So that was great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the YouTube video worked. I really do. Fingers crossed. It gets a little bluey when we have the videos playing. But speaking of bluey, Erika, we have to end on this. Stooley has a theme song.
Yes, he does. And it's an absolute banger. And all you parents with kids will totally understand.
You'll love it. We were playing around or something, whatever, and we're like, Stooley needs his own song on the playlist. And so we've added it one. So Dance Mode by Bluey is Stooley's theme song, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. Check it out on Spotify. Patrick, thank you for coming on the podcast. And Erika, take us home.
Flying Pig was an absolute blast of a weekend. Thank you again to Patrick for being a wonderful host. It was awesome to meet Angela and Jared and the whole NERC crew. Hi, Dad. And as I always say, don't forget to stretch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this for my kids.
Inside voice.
Oh, can we get the bill?
Patrick, you're still president of NERC, right?
No, I'm not. Ooh. So I am. It's a glorified title, guys. Please. It's a 3-year commitment. First year, you're the vice president. Second year, you're the president.
Yep.
Third year, you're the chairman of the board. So I'm the
Okay.
chairman of the board.
Okay, chairman.
It's glorified.